when I look back, there were so many instances where I was like, hopefully I'll make more videos this summer. Hopefully, in the next month or so. Hopefully when things slow down. And I'm sure you can relate to this, but the truth is things don't really ever slow down, as we know with the world recently. It's been a crazy couple of years and there's been a lot going on. I've had this realization that, I've had this channel for years. For almost 10 years, I've put up short films, some music videos, technical stuff, but I'm sure a lot of you are probably like, I don't really know who Scott is. I don't know this guy. So I just wanted to kind of go back a little bit and share a little bit about who I am and kind of where I see this channel going in the future. I'm from Northern Virginia. I grew up in a family of 9 kids. Ever since I was probably 3 years old, I wanted to make movies. And originally I wanted to be an actor, director, Kevin Costner style. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was huge back then, and I was obsessed, needless to say.
He's more powerful than 10 hired soldiers.
But then cut to like 1997, one of my sisters was like, let's make a movie. And she got out our handy cam and we made sort of this like Robin Hood style medieval movie called The Wolf. And that was sort of the first time I had made a movie and been a part of it. And I loved it so much that particularly me and my brothers, we just kept making more stuff. And all of it was derivative. We made our own James Bond multiple times, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Sherlock Holmes, you name it. I've been thinking about those times a lot recently and how much, I just enjoyed the craft. And I don't mean that in like a pretentious way. I mean like there was this pure sense of you're doing the thing, you're making the movies for the fun of it. You're making films for the fun of it and just for the pure enjoyment of seeing if I try this, like, how will that turn out? What will that look like? What will that feel like? And trying to evoke a response out of your audience. So after years of working my way through college, going to film school, doing corporate video and all that kind of stuff, my wife and I felt like the next big step was to move out to Los Angeles. And part of that was I had felt like I had a portfolio of short films that I was proud of. I had a feature idea at the time that went hand in hand. It was a script. I felt like the next step was go to LA, that's where, the relationships are, that's where the meetings are happening, that's where the business happens. And so for me, the goal was get representation, get an agent or a manager or both, and try to get into those meetings and pitch on projects and say, I can do this, here's the work. And it's been a long road. I think I learned pretty quickly that you need a great body of work with writing. My first feature script was not amazing. The bar for short films is high. You go on Vimeo or Short of the Week or Film Shortage or whatever, and this stuff is really, really good, and there's a lot of great filmmakers out there. And something I've learned in Hollywood is, it's such a monetary business, and for representatives, it's so transactional that they don't want to sign you until they know that you can make them money. So something I've been reflecting on, especially in the past month or so, is that the goal for the past 4.5 years of living in LA has been get reps so I can get in rooms so I can make movies. And that's been my goal, and it's been so disappointing, along the way that when it hasn't worked out. I've gotten really close. I had a rep reading my work. The whole LA Hollywood story is a whole other thing that could be a video in its own right. But something that I've been learning, and the thing that's been lost, is that so often for us, when we make videos, when we make films, the goal is to make more money, to have a huge YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, to be able to afford our dream house, to have the jet skis, it's all these sort of pie in the sky things, which can be fine. There's nothing wrong with those things, but something I've been thinking about, is that the reason why we make films? And for me, something that I've sort of been reminded of is that childlike wonder when you make films, when you pick up a camera, of you're doing it because you love the thing. And I think I've sort of lost a lot of that over the years.
We're making movies.
Living in LA, I was sort of in the cycle of, okay, I just need to write the next good script. And I had a couple great scripts, a feature script and a TV script, but it's still just this grind of, even if it's good, that doesn't mean it's for everyone, or not every reader's gonna like it, or not everyone is gonna read it even. It's challenging to get somebody to open your email and read your script. All the while I was trying to keep making short films and trying to flex those directing muscles, but also make that thing that was undeniable, make the film that would get on these publications. I had heard of directors who, you know, they got on IO9 Gizmodo and they got the phone call from, you know, some executive or rep. I had heard so many of these stories, and so I was like, if I can only get on this publication, you know, the calls will come in. I got on IO9 Gizmodo, no calls. I got on firstshowing.net, no calls. Got on Film Shortage, Dread Central, you know, all these great publications, and honestly, it was a thrill and it was a validation. Those have been some of the highlights of my narrative filmmaking career. But on the other hand, it was a bit discouraging because, you know, to me it was like, okay, that's a benchmark. If I can get that benchmark, I'll get the call, I'll get the reps, and then I can make movies. And then in 2019, I got some great news that had nothing to do with filmmaking, that my wife was gonna have a baby. And I was super excited and we were thrilled, but of course you do have those thoughts of, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna pay the bills? What is our future gonna look like? Well, as all of you know, 2020 hit and COVID happened and everything went crazy. And in a way, you know, we were sort of blessed because, you know, my wife was on maternity leave. I had sort of taken paternity leave. Our son Harrison was born in May, and honestly, he's been one of the great joys of my life. And I could make a whole other video about fatherhood and being a filmmaker, and hopefully I will one day too. I think that there's sort of this idea that like you have kids and your life is over and how are you going to pursue your dreams. But for me, it was like this other source of inspiration, unlocking all these feelings and these paternal instincts that I didn't even know were in me. And so that's been a tremendous inspiration to me. And all that to say, I kind of made this decision between COVID and between having a baby and having to sort of shift responsibilities and priorities that I was gonna sort of take a break from just sort of the mental gymnastics of Hollywood. So for 2020, I basically put writing on hold. I, for the most part, put making films on hold. I certainly put YouTube on hold. And I just decided that, you know, my son was gonna be my priority and paying the bills. And I think part of the reason I tell that story is hopefully that can be an encouragement to you, that if you're in that boat, you know, we feel all this pressure all the time of like, make more money, buy a bigger house, all these different things. And we do have responsibilities to our loved ones for sure. I'm not saying, you know, avoid any of that, but I am saying it's good sometimes when life gets crazy to take a step back, reprioritize, and even rest a little bit. You know, burnout is a real thing. I've seen so many YouTubers recently talking about burnout and how they're burning the candles at both ends. I'm here to tell you that if you made a Bo Burnham documentary film in 2020, that's amazing. And like, I'm serious, that's amazing. I was amazed by that film. But if you didn't, that's okay. I didn't. I took a break. I did make a short film in that year, and I do want to talk about that short film, and you know, a lot of work went into that, and I think that kept my creative juices flowing. But in general, it's sort of the mental pursuit of Hollywood and getting reps and all that stuff, I just completely let that go for a year. And I think honestly, you know, it was great for my mental health. It gave me just more of a peace in life in general. I think sometimes when you have these lofty goals that you may or may not have control over, you know, it can also just kind of be depressing if you're not achieving them day by day. So I'm here to tell you that sometimes it's okay to take a break and to take some space, especially if you have, you know, life-changing events that are really important, like having a son. Take time to spend with your family if you can afford to. It's very important. I'm also not here to tell you let go of your dreams or let go of, you know, your pursuits or the things that you love. One thing that I've learned that I just want to share to you all, because I think it might be an encouragement or maybe inspiring, hopefully to you, is that so much of my filmmaking was all about sort of the ladder. You know, I just need to get reps so that I can get jobs, so that I can pay the bills doing the thing that I love, which is making movies. And recently I had this realization that while it's still my dream to make movies one day, the way to get there is to not make the end results the goal. The goal needs to be to make the thing. And I know we've all heard that a million times, and I'm trying to hone in on that. But pick up a camera because you love picking up a camera. Pick up a camera because you want to create something, because you want to evoke a feeling or an emotion. And out of that, stories will flow, and out of that, bigger projects will flow. In the next year, want to make my first feature. And I think that's been my commitment. And again, my commitment hasn't been make my first feature, so this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen. I've always wanted to be a director. I've always wanted to make feature films. If Hollywood wants to pay me to do that, great. But if not, I'm gonna make it happen myself. And I think that's part of what I'm getting at, is pick up a camera because you love to do it. Pick up a camera because you love making movies. A week or two ago, I was watching some YouTube videos and I got inspired, and I just pulled my camera out of my closet and started just making videos of my son, Harrison, and just kind of following him around. And then, you know, I set it to some, you know, dramatic classical music and did all this color grading on it, and I just had a blast. Like, I felt like I evoked this dramatic emotion, and you know, I showed it to my wife and I was like, isn't this so pretty? And I just felt so excited about it. And I think that, again, was also just this reminder of like, just get out there and make something. Forget about the end goal, forget about the dream, make the thing, and hopefully your dreams will come out of that. And I think also that in Hollywood, there's all this conversation about find your voice, hone in on your voice. And you know, in filmmaking, that's what are your sensibilities? What do your videos look like? What do they feel like? What is the tone? And that's something only you can do, and that's something only you have command over. And you're not gonna find that until you start filming something, start making something. So I'm really kind of talking to myself here, you know. I'm putting this on record because this is what I want to be about in the next year, week to week, is just doing the thing, make the thing because I love it and because I love to. And because I want to make the kinds of films and videos that I want to make, you know. So many of us make stuff for our day jobs and we have to do that, and there's no shame in that. I think the thing that we're all chasing is being able to tell our own stories or make stuff in our own style. And you know, if people want to show up and watch it, that's even better. This video is kind of all over the place, but to the point of finding your voice. Find inspiration wherever you are and with whatever you have at your disposal. I think a lot of people, myself included, are like, I need to be in LA, I need to be in this, you know, amazing, beautiful place. I need this kind of camera. And the truth is, you get to LA or wherever and you start glamorizing the East Coast again, where you're like, well, at least they had seasons, or oh, I'd love to do a winter scene. Hone in on whatever that is, wherever you are, and put yourself out into the world. This is all over the place, I don't know.
We're making movies.
I guess the summary of all of this is it's okay sometimes in life to pause and evaluate, what do you value? What is the actual dream? What is the actual goal? And why do you want to do this thing? I think that feels like a leap of faith, and I think a lot of us are scared to do that because it feels like we're failing or we're giving up. So much of that year in 2020 with my baby, it feels like I was kind of, you know, lying on the ground with him, just saying goo goo gaga and talking to him and stuff.
Who are you talking to, buddy?
But honestly, those are some of the best memories of my life, and I know that when I'm 80-something, I'm gonna cherish those memories, and I'm gonna thank God that I was there for those early moments of his life. And you're never gonna look back and think, man, I just wish I was like grinding it out more. I guess in summary, I wanna encourage you that if you need to pause and evaluate and think about what do you value, it's okay to do that. And then when you need to dive back in, the thing that's inspired me at least is to look at the craft, look at filmmaking, and just love it for that. And nothing is a better motivator than that. Get back to that feeling of making James Bond movies in your backyard with your brothers and sisters. That's the thing that we all love. That's the thing that we're chasing.
Dude, Scott, nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
And I think when you put that joy and that passion into your work, success will come from that. Anyway, thanks for watching my ramblings. If you like this, I'm gonna make more videos, and if you wanna subscribe, or if you already have subscribed, I love you and you are awesome. And also, you are all really awesome. It blows my mind that people are watching and listening, but I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. So until next time, bye.
That was close.